Yeah, they did a really good job. Wiggins picking them up full court. They were boxing one. They went zone, but they did a good job. You got to give them credit. Wiggins did a really good job. We understood coming into the series that we were going to see that. We'll go back and look at the video and see what we can do better.
I also think Golden State is one of the better dynasties we've had. If it was not for Andrew Bogut getting hurt, Draymond Green suspension, and the team physically falling apart, they would have won 5 straight NBA championships. They've had bad luck. The Patriots could have won every Super Bowl or lost every Super Bowl. The games were either way games. This team, when healthy, has blown out a lot of teams. In fact, Steve Kerr has never lost a playoff series. I think the guys told me this morning, like to a Western Conference team. I mean, if you just start looking at it, if they win this year, and I do think they're a big matchup problem for Dallas, and I picked them to win in 6, they should be favored over Miami. I mean, Steph, Clay, Jordan, Poole against undrafted guards is a problem. I think they're very unique, and I think they're the right kind of dynasty. Not all dynasties are even. The Patriots were efficient but personalityless. Same with Alabama football and the San Antonio Spurs. Not big, flashy personalities, not outspoken people, very much about the culture and the system. But the Showtime Lakers, Shaq and Kobe Lakers, the Heatles, the Warriors, you've had some dissension. You've had polarizing players. I think they're great for basketball, and I think they've been underrated. They've gotten really bad breaks. I mean, nothing against Toronto, but that was going to be a 4 or 5 game series, and everybody got hurt. Clay got hurt. Steph got hurt. I think Kayvon Looney got hurt. Everybody got hurt. So this is a series in which we'll see how it goes tonight. Miami and Boston. I felt this way watching Boston, and I really do feel this way. Boston has to win this series, or they're going to have to make a move. Keep Jason Tatum, and I would probably, nothing against Jaylen Brown, but we've seen the Tatum, Brown, Marcus Smart run now for like 5 years, and they're all just better versions of what they were 5 years ago. None are Giannis.
Is the Herd Line News.
How about 15 minutes of college football talk in May? I'm going to go home, smoke a cigar, and just think about what Bruce said.
That's what Petty will get you. We'll get you content. So the Warriors have made a strong statement with a Game 1 win over the Mavs. Steph led his team with 21 points and 12 rebounds. And Clay got hot in the second half, scoring all 15 of his points. After the break, Golden State also limited Luka to his fewest points in the postseason with 20, and they cruised to a Game 1 win, 112-87. It was slightly close in the first half. Third quarter, things fell apart. The Warriors went on a 10-2 run to extend their lead to 17 points. The biggest lead of the night was 30 points in the fourth. This quickly got away from the Mavs in the second half. Klay Thompson, 15. Draymond Green, 10 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. Great defensive effort from Draymond and from Kevon Looney, 10 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. So in all arounds, Warriors like win. Everybody steps up. Everyone contributes. Very consistent. Get a quick lead. Hold on to that lead because they have scores. This was I expected it to be closer in Game 1, but also this is why I was talking about this series the way I was coming out of that Mavs-Suns series. It went 7, guys. It wasn't like the Mavs just stomped all over the Suns and swept them. It went 7 games. This could also be a very long series. We only remember the last game we watched. Yeah. That's not how these long series go with good teams. Now, I do think that this particular Warriors team is a bit flawed and vulnerable, but they've been here before. That game wasn't terribly surprising. Boston, Miami tonight. Al Horford has been upgraded to questionable.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah. So Baker Mayfield has made it clear he doesn't want to stay in Cleveland, and for the most part, it doesn't seem like Cleveland wants him there, but the trade market has not been very active, and the Browns are still waiting to see what the suspension for Deshaun Watson is for his 22 civil cases. Ian Rappaport suggested that Deshaun, if he does get a lengthy suspension, it could make sense for Baker to start until he returns and then be traded mid-season. I agree that this would be the best case scenario. However, it's pretty toxic between the Browns and Baker Mayfield. Now, Baker might not necessarily have a choice, but I would be very surprised if Baker Mayfield takes the field for the Browns ever again.
He would have to swallow a lot of pride.
Yeah, that might be a little bit too big of a pill to swallow.
I think
sometimes you get the pills, you got to break in half.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even know if this is one of those. That's a lot of medicine to take. And honestly, the Browns have kind of burned this bridge too. So I think he will be traded before the season starts. They also have Jacoby Brissett on their roster. And quite frankly, you took this risk when you brought Deshaun Watson here. So if Baker Mayfield was like, I don't want to play for the Browns anymore, as much as I don't agree with a lot of choices Baker Mayfield has made, I would respect that. I wouldn't want to go back on the field for this team, even if they are paying me. For what?
I think I'd fall on the sword.
I wouldn't have a sword to fall on because I wouldn't put myself in this situation, but it's very Browns. I think we got very confused by all of the
Yeah, they're the Browns.
On the paper, the Browns are still the Browns. 100%. Nothing has changed. None of this is fooling me anymore. I have sold all my Brown stock and I feel great about it. I don't feel like it's going up anytime soon. So it has been petty wars in college football today. It is spicy. It is hot and seasoned between Nick Saban and Jimbo Fisher. He was very vocal, Nick Saban, about his thoughts on NIL, which I couldn't think of a person I would like to hear about this from less than Nick Saban. But nevertheless, here he is talking about Texas A&M.
I mean, we were second in recruiting last year. A&M was first. A&M bought every player on their team, made a deal for name, image, and likeness. All right, we didn't buy one player. All right, but I don't know if we're going to be able to sustain that in the future because more and more people are doing it.
When you say they bought every player,
that's a lot of players.
And I doubt anybody bought every player. So you set yourself up to be wrong with that.
Here's the deal. This is my takeaway from, and we talked about this a lot last week when you were in Italy because there were some other NIL stories that could come out. The NCAA released their new regulations for NIL. There's a couple things to take away from this situation. One, I have zero, and I mean no, empathy whatsoever for these coaches who are making millions of dollars to be paid to do what they do for a change in the sport. Cry me a river. I don't care. Hire some more assistants. Hire some financial literacy people. I don't have any patience for this. You have to do more work now.
Yeah.
That's what you're paid to do. Sorry about it.
Yeah.
This was an inevitable change that was coming. Everyone knew it was coming. The NCAA completely ignored it. And now it's a little hectic. Like anything else in life, it will correct itself for multiple reasons. One, rich people don't like to spend money on things that they don't get anything from. There is no guarantee that you could spend $10 million on an entire roster for Texas A&M that they're going to win a national championship game. And what do you think is going to happen next year after they don't win a national championship game? I bet I'm not running them another check for $10 million. That's what I'm not going to do.
Yeah.
So this is all going to correct itself with the massive amount of money that's being thrown out there.
Men are very funny. Men overreact to everything. I've seen this in politics and sports. I see it in the media, the non-media. Why do we overreact to everything? Because last night my daughter was freaking out a little bit. But she's young, right? And she had a very hard day at work. And I said, go listen to some music. Go work out. Tomorrow can't be as bad as today. And then she said, Dad, thanks. And I'm like, but she's young. When I see 40 and 50-year-old guys yelling and screaming, y'all get it's going to correct itself. It's like the weather. Life is like the weather. You wait about 36 hours and you got a new front. Come on.
I have a hard time getting on that level of hysterical with people who have benefited from things being a certain way forever. It's changed now. And here's my biggest takeaway. Since nobody can seem to quantify what the actual problem is, other than we have to do more work, which I don't care about, I don't like, and you're this way as well, I don't like problem people. We can have problems. We all have problems. What's the solution? Even if you don't have the solution, are you thinking of a solution? Are you trying to find the silver lining in this? Are you trying to find your way out? How can we benefit from this? Well, everyone's over here complaining. Why don't we figure out how to legally take advantage of this situation? If I'm a top recruit, I'm listening to what these coaches are saying. I'm seeing how upset they are at the idea that I could make some money in college off of the work, by the way, that I put in high school to make myself as good as I am, that these people want to give me money, by the way. This is money that's been earned through what these high school players have put on the field. Yeah. This idea that everyone's just giving out money to whoever is nonsense. And the other layer to this for me that I'm really struggling with is everyone's focusing on the top 1% of the 1% of male sports. NIL benefits all college athletes, including the thousands of female athletes who play college sports. So when you make these regulations in order to control, let's relatively